What's good, y'all? Feel me? Gnostic Ja. Shit like that. This video is gonna be called Life After Death. And before I get too deep into it, I just wanna say, I'm not gonna talk it's called Life After Death, but I'm not gonna really get into like what I think like happens after we die. I mean, I'll get into that like a little bit. At least of what I think. I don't really want to get into too much because nigga, we don't know. I can only tell you what I think, and that's it as far as that subject is concerned. So, yeah. And the reason I want to say this is because I was just thinking to myself, I've been thinking a lot recently, and I'm just thinking about a lot of individuals that I either had the privilege of being a part of their lives or, people I've just come across on random or whatever the case. And I tend to notice, like, it's kind of crazy how people don't really change all the time. Like, yeah, people change, some people, they either lose weight, gain weight, they either get taller or shorter. I mean, well, that's usually, puberty from being an adolescent, growing up. But, it's just, people change, and as far as physical features, as far as, but I mean, like, I feel like a lot of people that, like I said, either come across or I've been in their lives, is usually a consistent pattern of just sticking with whatever seemed to work at a point in time before and not really updating the map, so to speak. It's like the territory is always changing. It's always adding new twists and turns, but for some, the map is just what it's been, and it's just going to be what it's going to be. And it's a very narrow-minded perception of things, because it's just like, as I've said before, reality is just like a lot wider than that. And it even makes me think to myself, am I really like incorporating those things for myself? That's why I'm even talking about this, because I feel like it's these are the things I'm noticing, because something is pointing me more to the, I guess, understanding of like, yeah, this is what it's like to just be this way and never update the map, even though the territory is clearly different. And it's always like, it's always easy to see it in third person perspective. Like, if you're looking at someone else, you can clearly see how they're rigid in some of their ideas or beliefs, or even, it could be simple things. It could just be like new technology. It could be anything. You could just see how stuck and glued to their ways they are, versus at least opening up the idea for something or the possibility for something, to at least just see what's what, just to maybe, if you don't have to indulge in anything, but you could just update your map to include more of the territory. It's really that simple. But I feel like a lot of people are so adverse to that. And I feel like a lot of the aversion from those things is because of the idea of death, right? So I kind of want to call it life after death, because I'm thinking about it like this. Like I said in the video before, we aren't our bodies. We aren't our minds and our thoughts. We are literally existence in life itself. So just put this perspective like this. Like, I'm not going to say I know what happens after we die, but I made a pretty, I feel like a decent theory about what I could understand, which is once we die, we just leave our bodies and realize we were never the bodies we thought we were. We were the entire thing experiencing a body. And I feel like for a lot of people, that realization is going to suck when they're like, whoa, like reality is so much more and so much wider. And I've only ever like really honed in on this scope of it because of my fear, which led me to seek comfort, which then led me to never see more of what I possibly could have seen and experienced, it's just, I don't know. That thought, it because I'm 26 now, and I'm not gonna say like I'm old, but it just gives another reminder, like, time is passing, you are aging, and it's a certain age you get to where I don't know if you keep going, but we'll see. So just with that in mind, I'm just looking and reflecting on life and saying, like, where am I staying stuck in certain ways that I've been stuck in? Because the worst feeling is like regret, to say, yo, I've lived an everyday half-assed, barely, like, yeah, I tried here and there, but I never really dug in. And I'm not gonna say like I haven't dug into life. I feel like I definitely have, but it's just it's just like, and see, that could be a problem too, because I feel like because I have, when I don't, I get really, really like, why aren't you just digging into life? Why aren't you just going at it? Why aren't you just? But I don't feel like life should always be that way. But I feel like you should always strive for it to be that way. I'll say that, and it just really goes back to like I said, just try to look at life like you're an old man or old woman. You're on your deathbed and you're just flashing over your life, and you're just like, what the fuck? I could have did so much more of my time. I could have spent my time so much better, so much wiser, and I could have just seen more. And sometimes that's why I'm calling this life after death, because I'm like, sometimes I wonder if is that going to be life after death? Is it just going to be, well, before I guess you completely pass on or whatever, I guess, like, will it be like you just in your spirit, but you still have the essence of who you were, and you're just like, I mean, I guess once you're out the body, it doesn't even matter anymore. So I kind of guess, because that kind of defeats the purpose of, I mean, it doesn't completely defeat the purpose of what I'm saying, because, like, I won't say, okay, I would say that, I would just say this is my opinion on it, that after death, or after we leave the body, that we just go back to being the essence of what we originally were, which was just life, unfiltered through any type of perception or anything, any lens, scope. And this is all just me just speculating, and my ideas on this vary and change from time to time. But I feel pretty, I don't know, something in me just has this, because I'm like, if there's this light in me, or this essence of something higher or more in me that's conducting all of this, well, in me and as everything else conducting all of this, when it ends for me, it doesn't end. It just ends for who I thought I was. But it's just lame as hell to just think, like, what if I go or I'm on my deathbed and I'm just thinking about life, and I'm like, bruh, I could have went for this, I could have did this, I could have did that, and you're just like, damn, I didn't check the boxes. Am I doomed to repeat it all again? That's pretty much kind of what I'm trying to say about life after death. I feel like if you don't really live like the life you were meant to live, you gotta do it again until you become whole. Because I feel like that's really what it's about. It's about eliminating any idea of fear, because that's the only thing that could ever stop us. The idea of something that's harmful, that might kill us. And that's why I say life after death, because it's not only life after physical death, but life after death of the part of ourselves that wants to remain comfortable, stuck in patterns, habits, places, things that no longer give us the same, no longer give us exactly what we need to keep moving forward. Yeah. Yeah, it's just been a huge time of reflection, and I feel like a lot of these thoughts have been kind of simmering in the back of my mind. Thought I'd speak on it a little bit. I'll probably speak on this in depth a little bit more. Like a lot of things, I'm just talking and going off, and then if I think of something later, I'll come back and I'll drop another one of these. But life after death, like I said, it's not only just physical death, but it's also psychological death, spiritual death. It's all these things. We die to things all the time. I like to say, when we collapse our attention on a particular thing, we die to everything else. Because what is it to be alive? It's just to be aware and to give attention and to have a sense of something. So when our senses and awareness is dedicated to specific things, it automatically shuts out the possibility for other. But I just wonder, how much space could one hold for all of it? Yeah, life after death, like Biggie. You feel me? And that's another thing. Another aspect of it is like, people really, really like honor you when you're gone, way more than they do when you're here. Like the way they speak on you. Well, in some regards, because some people don't speak the highest regards of some people that pass. Are still, cursing the dead or whatever. But I would just say, for the most part, most people usually have a good thought or memory when it associates with someone that they were close to, that they loved, that's passed on. And just even the life of the person, or the essence of the person, that still continues to live on even after their physical is no longer here. But it's like, once that person existed, they'll always be there. They never really go. But that's what I'm saying. Imagine that being you, or me, or any of us. Just like going through life, basically asleep to everything. Reacting, arguing, getting mad, getting sad, getting hopeless, not having faith, not having good faith, not having good thoughts. And not to say you gotta always think positive, but it's just, what are you painting your picture with? And at the end of the picture, once you're done drawing, will you like what you see? Would you like what you've drawn? I feel like sometimes when people get old and they're about to pass, they're like, fuck, yo, I fucking baited on my life so bad. It's like, fuck, how the fuck I bait so hard? But at that point, they so old, and they come to that realization at such a late point, that it's like, nah, it's nothing you could do. You're cooked. Like, you only got so many options at this point. You could probably do some, but not much. Life after death. I feel like there is life after death. No, I know there's life after death. I know this all goes on forever, but it's just, how do we know? How? I guess I just know by the fact that I'm here now, doing it right now. So I made this pretty much to say, you ain't gotta be, in your coffin for you to be dead. You could come back alive, resurrect in the spirit, in this flesh, in this vessel. And it is. I really want to get into more depth on what I'm saying in this video. I feel like I'm not really getting too deep into what I really wanted to say. I mean, I am. I just gotta think about it a little bit more because it's just so complicated to speak on. And I want to say that I just wanted to hone in on the point that I was trying to make, which is usually always the discrepancy I have when I make videos is like really nailing it in the point of like what I'm saying. Like, cause I'm just trying to say like, I'm putting myself in perspective. Like I said already, I'm an old person. I'm in my, about to go. They like, yeah, you got like how much of a time you got? And I'm just like, damn, bro. If they told me I had X amount of more time or this, there's so many different choices I would make. There's so many different things I would do with my time and my energy. And I mean, not really too different. I feel like for the most part, I do what I would like with my time and energy. But that's what I'm saying. Like, even more, honestly. Like, not to say that all these things, like, oh, if I travel this place, it's going to change my life. Or if I, it's not even about any of that. It's just more about fulfilling that role that makes you feel whole. Not letting fear stop those decisions. Getting closer to people. Helping people. I want to bring my family together. I want to bring my whole family together. Like, family from all over the place. I want them all to get together. And that would be something for me to honor my family, honor my mom, honor all of us, and to connect us and to really, like, get something going out here that's going to keep that positive energy in rotation. It's going to be needed. I cried about that because it's so like, my mom used to always say, you don't want to know your family. And now I feel like that's all I want to do is get to know my family. Most of this other stuff, I don't really like. I love making music. Don't get me wrong, I love everything I do. Music, clothing, because all of it's connected to the same purpose. But me getting my family together, that's going to seal the deal. That's going to be like, yep, So I hope I make do on that. And this is like a bookmark, reminder to myself to just stay true to that cause of trying to push that, because it's going to help way more people than I could imagine. And I just want to do the highest good possible. And maybe I could achieve life after death. But what if it's like that? What if everybody don't get life after death? Or some people just die and never get to... Or would you even want to experience life again? I mean, I probably would. Just not in this way. In a better way. But what's a better way or a worse way? Who knows? Alright, I'm probably going 18 minutes. Damn, am I even going to upload this? Jeez, I don't know if I'm even going to upload this. I might just do a whole nother video. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could upload 18 minutes now, but damn, 18 minutes? Shit. Oh. But yeah, life after death, yo. Will you be on your deathbed saying, why I ain't live my life more? Will you die knowing that you're complete and whole? And I feel like that's really what it comes down to. It's just when you die, feeling like you completed your mission and that you could actually rest in peace. That's why I call it life after death, because it's like, you know how they say rest in peace? It's like, but if you gotta rest forever in the shit that you was really living, and if you wasn't really living, then you gotta rest in, I don't know. No, I'm just talking. But it also adds to my point, if you catch my drift or whatever. It's just to say, don't waste the moments you have. Because when it's all over, you're going to want to know you had a life after death. I don't know. Gnostic jock.